So, hey, Omega Heads, I'm Lucy, and Omega is a lot today. We're going to have the high pleasure to interview Kim Sternkopf from MOL. So, welcome, Kim. Thanks for the interview. And my first question is Diorama album released in 2021 was definitely the album which opened the doors to you to be signed by Nuclear Blast. Am I right? And okay. And what are your personal impressions about this album so far?
Um, it's kind of weird because it still feels fresh in some sense, mostly because we were supposed to do a headliner tour back when COVID hit. So obviously, the I think UK had started opening by that February, where we had it planned, uh, but most of Central Europe was still closed down. So this feels like uh, us, finally getting to tour with the album as a headline. So uh, that's pretty exciting.
And which are the highlights of Diorama album in your opinion?
Mm. In my opinion, mm, is are we talking musically speaking, or are we talking in like meaning? Uh,
Musically.
Musically, okay. I think I'm mostly fond of our track Vestige, because it has a lot of punk vibes, and I know that our drummer Ken, he is a huge Blink 182 fan. So anyone who knows them would notice his Travis Barker's influences. And well, for us, there are not any specific genres that we have to be in. We have a sound that we like and that we prefer, and we have distinguished ourselves from most of other in our subgenre in per se. Uh, Mostly because there's a lot of punk uh, as well in the mix. It's not strictly shoegaze. It's not strictly black metal. It's not strictly something else. Diorama um, has, at least musically speaking, I think Nikolai has introduced a lot of uh, really great, let's say, hints from the past. Stuff like a solo that would sound reminiscent of Van Halen or something like that. So I just like that he gathers, inspiration. Everybody, everything comes from something. We are a nostalgia band in some sense, but because I know that the people who come and listen to us are not teenagers. Uh, but I know that we tick some boxes in some sense, and we also tick our own boxes, or at least we do scratch that itch of um, trying to um, borrow from here and there and make it unison. I feel at least that Diorama is a journey just like your was, uh, an, an emotional narrative. There's not one song that um, reminds of the other in a whole album piece. So we're catering to the people who likes to listen a whole album through, and that takes a lot of it takes a lot of effort today, because if you're just listening to a playlist, you can easily just skip a track or something like that. But deep listening, uh, and get making sure that you give the music the attention, to forget your everyday. That's at least what we want, and that's also what we want to invoke when we play concerts.
So you kind of answered my next question, but could you compare, so your first length album of yours released in 2018 with Diorama, and how has been the critic so far for both albums?
Both albums have been really well received. I think we're spoiled as hell, and pretty like still pretty like okay, is this happening? I know for a fact that both Ken and Nikolai, the main songwriters in the band, um, they never dreamed of us being a touring outfit on the level that we are so far. So I think we've grown into the task of upholding at least some values or standards for what is a MOL show, what is the what's the experience that, or at least the feelings, for my part, the feelings that we want to convey. And I feel at least that your might be way more wintry, more Nordic in some sense. And I still feel that we do have some of those tendencies, but if we could speak of albums like Seasons, I think, yeah, I feel that Your was winter, and Diorama is spring, and then maybe you can guess what comes next.
Very good. All right. So that was a big discussion between me and Paul Beltman. He's here helping me today about this genre situation that you have spoken already about being a shoegaze band and post black metal band, but we were kind of thinking that, or at least I told him, oh, maybe they are like an extreme showgaze band or something like that, because I believe you are really unique. But it's true. I mean, as I told him, like visually, maybe you have this tendency of the appearance of a shoegaze band, but I mean, the sound is most more because of the vocals. They are to remind me a lot black metal. So it's but anyway, what do you consider the band and yourself, your vocal lines and everything? If you can give a genre, not that this is necessary, but I mean,
We have a saying in MOL, and it goes like this in Danish: "Møl må gerne." That means MOL is allowed. MOL can do. Yeah. So I think that answers the question in some sense, because I think nowadays, or at least for myself, and I know speaking for a lot of my band members, we don't hang like, I know that I might like something in some sort of genre, but it's not about, because a genre is also culture today. A genre is also it's tribalism in some sense. If you walk down to a typical metal festival, you will immediately see the fresh heads. If we look at people with battle vests and stuff like that, and we like to poke, be a bit provocative about that, because a lot of these people who, or maybe myself, or maybe you, were young at one point and felt really rebellious, and they wanted to wear black, and that was really rebellious at one point. But I feel that there's a conformist way of thinking about the expression and the music, and how bands brand themselves today, that easily can, you can spot a specific fan of through the way that they look. And I just love to be surprised by people who, look nothing like a metalhead, but loves some of the most extreme stuff. But also, uh, I really like that a lot of metalheads that really look like metalheads are open enough to listen to more music than just, one particular genre. So, I returning to your question, I I'm all over the place. I think we all are, but we do have some dogmas in some sense. Um, I think we've always appealed to something that's down to earth in some sense, at least appearance wise. Um, we don't want to be gatekeepers. We feel that this music is for everyone. But uh, it's also music that, you might catch the melody, you might or be appealed by the harsh vocal or be appalled by it, or like, but something has to stir in you emotionally. If not, it's just content. It's just something that you consume. It and now I sound really highbrow, but then I would not consider it art.
Okay. So, you are touring in Europe, UK right now, and you will be in Copenhagen edition to 2023. So, do you have more gigs, dates scheduled?
Yes, we are doing a support gig for In Flames and Killswitch Engage at Dalhalla Brena in the northern part of Sweden. We're looking very much forward to do that. And we do have another gig where we play at Prime Fest. Our management, Prime Collective in Denmark, are hosting a weekend festival where Converge is on the lineup as well, and our friends in Cabal, and a lot of other really hard-hitting, a lot of downbeat, a lot of um, modern metal. Um, it's kind of funny to play. I feel that we could, because we're all over the place. I feel we could play with anybody. We do have the atmospheric parts, but we can also be, the party. Um, so I think the dynamics that makes it so flexible to build a set. So we could play like a post rock festival, but we could also play a black metal festival. Um, and everywhere people would frown in some sense. I don't like that. I don't like, because people, get accustomed to a lot of stuff. But if we can shake up, hit. If you're supposed to hit in the box, and I'll draw on the side of it, and then I've done my job. And if you get provoked by that, then who's the punk now?
Very good. All right. And so we are here in Utrecht, Netherlands, on your first tour day. And so, what can we expect from tonight's concert?
You can expect a lot of show. Yeah, I think you can expect a lot of songs from Diorama, obviously, but we have brought some older songs with us as well. Um, and with every concert, no matter if it's a venue like this or if we play a floor show somewhere, uh, we want to make you forget about the week you just had.
During this week. So great, perfect, I would say. And so you have been planning already, or working on another album, or if so, could you speak a little about it?
I won't go in too much detail than what I've already done, but Um, there's a seasonal change coming. Yeah.
Right.
I think nothing will stay the same. I think we will get bored if we do a your number two, or so I at least feel that when we have exhausted that, I think we're done. We might be, but I know for a fact that our songwriters, myself, we feel you know inspired, engaged, and yeah, we want to get out on the road.
And yeah, as I told you before, I've found out that you have an epic extreme metal band called the Arcane Order. So could you speak more about it?
I can speak very much about it, um, but um, I think the Arcane Order is a band that I've always looked up to. As a teen, I grew up with Flemming C. Lund's former project, or the band. So it's has been existing for some years. Um, so I was actually pretty honored and really tried to contain my inner fanboy a lot when he wrote me on Facebook. Um, so I've had the album, at least the complete album with all of the things recorded, uh, in the back of my head for a long time. And when I heard the tracks, I was like, I need to be on this. Um, it appeals to a lot of the stuff about forgetting everyday life. I am an escape. I'm an escapist. I like escapism in some sense because the world is you need to escape from it sometimes. And I'm a huge D&D fan, and I love horror movies and all that sort of stuff. And for Fleming to ask me, it was like having Gandalf come over to you and say, "Do you want to go on an adventure with me?" So it's an epic. It is dark, extreme, really orchestral as well, but not maybe Dimo Borgia without as much makeup. But what I really like about the Arcane Order is Fleming has a clear sense of taking his time to construct really good songs that invoke or at least makes me think of really epic things like riding with your sword towards the sunset in some dark epic. Yeah, but you should go listen to our latest single, "The First Deceiver," and our album "Distortions from Cosmogony" comes out the 9th of June. It's really soon, and we're just dying to play it for a lot of people. Um, there's a lot of Greek mythology in it. I you should do another interview with me in that capacity. Yeah.
So it's a plan for the future now. Okay, so I'm really interested on this question now. So which are your main influences as a musician, a singer?
As a performer, my hero might be Josh Gogan from '68, or former The Chariot, and Norma Jean. Um, it's pretty different from what I play, but his way of uh, of just invading a room with his presence and making everybody feel welcome at the same time. Um, I think that's something that you can only like aspire to, and that is the earnestness that a lot of punk music has. I feel at least in black metal you're kind of distant or you want to be towering over everybody else, but I'm like a pretty social kind of guy. I might look threatening, but we got a lot of love to give, man. um, so at least as a as a as a musician, he's one of my heroes. But there's a lot of good, really talented people out there. It would differ from whichever of the members you would be speaking to. Um, yeah.
Good. And okay, now I have a situation for you, and this situation is one that most of the people wait for this question on Medicine Law. So, suppose you are a bad guy and you got in trouble and had a life imprisonment as a sentence, and you can have nothing with you but 3 albums that you can listen for the rest of your life because one of the guards of the prison is a nice guy and gave you them as a gift. So which albums would you choose and why? There's a reason.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll bring Tired of Tomorrow by Nothing. No, I'm a huge Nothing fan, and not of Nothing, but the band, the U.S. band Nothing. Yeah, we're all we really love what they have going on, and I think I would be bringing Russian Circles album. I can't remember. I only remember the cover, but it is their third newest album. It was way more post rock, and I've listened to it a lot, and it's pretty embarrassing that I can't remember the album. But it's instrumental, and if I want variety, I do need my variety. I don't need somebody screaming in my ears the whole time. And the third album, that would be In Colors with Radiohead. Yeah.
And now to finish our interview, so would you like to leave a message to your fans who are watching us?
It's called In Rainbows. Oh yeah. Well, please come out and see us on tour. And if you can't catch us here, catch us in Devilstone in Lithuania. Yes. So Devilstone in Lithuania, and you should come see us at Copenhagen if you're in Copenhagen, or if you are Swede, please come see us when we support Killswitch Engage and In Flames in August. You have a lot of good chances to see us there. Yeah, keep playing. We love you.
Great. So thank you once more for the interview. Thank you all, guys, for watching us, and stay heavy.